Today's story, I think, will begin, and it's a little bit long, but it's a classic story of the Chassidic Rabbi from the Kota Diburim, and it's like a bread and butter. He said this a story that a Chassid has to know, and the story is with Rabbi Yoman Kletzke. Yoman Kletzke was one of the greatest Chassidim of the Alter Rebbe. He came from a family that were vehemently opposed to Chassidus, and he was a big Gaon himself. And the whole story, how he was niskarav to the Alter Rebbe and became one of the Gedolei Chassidim. He was a big Gaon and a tremendous speaker. He was half a tzaddik, if not. So here's the story. The Chassidic Rebbe tells the story as follows. So Rav Shlomo Kalina, a contemporary of the Alter Rebbe, two brothers, Reb Aaron Kalina, Reb Aaron Agodol, and Reb Shlomo Kalina. The Kalin dynasty is obviously descended of him, and other branches. So he visited the Alter Rebbe on one occasion, and when he was leaving, preparing to leave Liozna, the Alter Rebbe sent some Yingolite, some of the Chassidim from Cheder Beis. We're not going to this right now. The three Chadorim that the Alter Rebbe established to accompany him. Amongst them was a Benjamin Kletzke. So as they're walking him, as he's leaving Liozna, they're speaking Divrei Torah, Nigla, Kabbalah, Chkira, Chassidus. Chkira means philosophy. And Rav Shlomo Kalina, Rav Tzaddik, Rav Shlomo Kalina was bespilus from the depth of the knowledge of the Ingolite of the Chassidim. Now he was going then to Beshenkovich, Rav Shlomo Kalina, and they thought to travel to him only to Vitebsk. Rav Rebbe said accompany him, not just on his journey. So they came to Vitebsk. So the Shlomo Kalina says to Benjamin Kletzke, do me a favor and continue with me to Beshenkovich. Now Rabbi Yoman says the Chassidic Rebbe was a Balchushim Nifloim Amkengob, which means he had tremendous chushim, tremendous no, not faculties and talents.
Talents.
It's more than talents. I mean, it's more than talents. The chush is anyway, and a very, very deep thinker. So he stayed a few days in Vitebsk and decided, okay, he'll accompany Rab Shlomo to Beshenkovich. Traveling from Vitebsk to Beshenkovich, so Rab Shlomo Kalina told the wagon driver as they're traveling to stop in one of the fields because he wants to daven mincha. So Rab Shlomo Kalina gets down from the wagon. There's no water to wash until the Sedayim before davening. So he goes back into the wagon and he enters into the state of Dveikus of Shlomo Kalina. And while this is happening, the horses they take off. And they were uncontrollable. And they kept on running till they arrived, and they stopped abruptly at a small river. Rav Shlomo Kalina smiles, gets off the wagon, washes his hands, and davens mincha. Rabbi Yoman Kletzke, the next paragraph will continue tomorrow, even though he did not like, when Makabal didn't relate to, wasn't his derech and avodah as a Chabad Chassid, the spilos, the excitement that Rav Shlomo Kalina had in his tefillah, till today, Kalin, if I'm not mistaken, their hallmark is, I mean, if you're never there, you're going to be in a shock. You'll be shocked. Yehesh Meirabba, everybody shouts at the top of their lungs. This is the residue. If Shlomo didn't do that, is now you scream at the top of your lungs. You just spontaneously did it. But that's another hallmark of Kalin Chassidim. It's quite, if you never saw it and you would have mincha suddenly. So Rabbi Yoman didn't take to this. But seeing what happened now, how the horses and so on, and the tzaddik wanted that it came to the water, he was impressed. So now they get back into the wagon after Mincha, and the wagon driver doesn't know how to get back. He's completely lost. He says he doesn't recognize the surroundings. The flamer says, let the horses go. And they moved quickly till they came to the highway. And then they arrived in the hotel. The pundik, Rab Shleimer enters the place. He davens Maidiv. It says Tikkun Chatzos. He davens Shachris. And at Mincha, they arrived at Beshenkovich. This was on a Thursday. There's no way to get back till the Yosna for Shabbos. And so the Ben Yoman has to stay Shabbos in Beshenkovich with a Shleimer Kalina, and we will see, Beis Hashem, tomorrow what transpires. A wonderful day, everybody.